I'm going to reintroduce a topic that's somewhat taboo, and I'm going to do this by recycling an old post. You may or may not be aware that our daily energy clearing group has now been going on for 2 years, and members receive a daily stress management clearing through the transmission of virtual Qigong energy. And this has been extremely effective for 2 reasons. One is that the virtual Qigong clears patterns of stress, which allows voltage to rise, but also it gives tremendous information, because that's what energy really is. It's information. So I'd like to go over a couple of these things that were mentioned in that old post, and then scan the situation in Chicago in reference to the kidnapping and torturing of the mentally challenged young man, and then go forward and also scan the group with the same information and see what we can learn. So I had mentioned in that old post that if we could really see what's going on around us, you remember our eyes, first of all, that's not what really even sees. We download images. That's really our process. But beyond that, we only see 0.1% of what's going on around us. Now, I'm told that there has been software developed that is used with cameras that actually can see more of what's going on around us. I'm not sure I personally want to ever have such film, but regardless, beyond our sight, there are forces that have the power when we're unaware. These forces can't hurt us once we're aware. But when we're unaware, these forces can manipulate our existence, and probably the easiest way to refer to them is just lower vibratory energies. And all of the spiritual traditions speak of these energies, but for some reason, it's just considered taboo. And we've gotten to where we think about this as fiction, but it's not. It's not fiction at all. These forces have different names, if you want to give them a name: demons, spirit oppressions, curses, implants. And you have a choice. You can say, I don't believe in this, and that's fine. We have free will, but they lower overall vibration. And if there were such an energy doing that, I think it would be pretty beneficial to know so you could clear it. These are a vibration just like everything else, and they take you into a low vibration cycle. This very often happens in very small increments until all of a sudden your life is just plagued. You're making terrible decisions. Things are happening that just shouldn't be happening. In other words, you're not creating the reality you consciously desire. And here I just had listed some signs: a decline in moral character, poor physical and emotional health. Addictive behavior of any type is an indication of a negative spiritual energy in your field. Any desecration of the body, selfishness, greed, base ambition, behavior that is mean, selfish, disloyal, or self-sabotaging. And you wonder, how could this happen? Well, we're in the middle of an infinite matrix. Just like your computer pulls in information from the World Wide Web, we have a much larger web, and maybe it's not infinite, but as far as our quantum physics measuring tools can measure, they haven't found an end to it. And that information is based, it's all vibrations on a much lower or much higher. And these lower energies could almost be in virus forms. So if you get caught up in something like this, your reality gets all screwed up. And I have a list here, and we're going to scan this list in a moment. And what we're going to check for, these are some of the categories. I don't need to read this whole list to you, but you get an idea as we go down this list. And again, this is not something we want to focus on. This is about awareness. I compare it to standing at the railroad tracks. The train is coming, so you step off the track. You don't have to live your whole life angry at trains or obsessed with trains or talk about trains. You just get off the track. That's what we're going to do. We want to get off the track. So you say also, how could this happen? What's going on? Here are just a few things that may open us up to some of these lower vibratory energies. First of all, too much obsession with the paranormal. And that includes working with Ouija boards, tarot, going to a lot of psychics and seances, etc. I'm not saying all psychics are coming from lower vibratory energy, because that isn't true, but there are a significant number that are coming from lower vibratory energy. Any form of substance abuse, and that includes food, will absolutely lower our voltage to where these other energies can enter. Gossip or slander is actually considered one of the worst things, believe it or not. So watch your words. A lot of reading or movies or TV about the paranormal. Some people actually buy books and search for names of entities. Very bad energy, almost like an invitation. Casting any kind of a curse or spell, you want to watch the idea of getting involved in Wicca or doing anything to manipulate another person is absolutely going to give you energy blowback like you can't imagine. Associating with others who have negative attachments, or going places where these entities abound. And I'm going to give you one example that you probably already know, which would be bars, but there are some other examples. For example, hospitals, and unfortunately even churches. So what we want to know, can we control this? And yes, we can. We can tune into the higher vibration and block the lower. But let's first of all do a scan and see if we can get some information on all this. The SRC for you is not working with the physical body. It's working what is known as the etheric field, which is a field of energy that surrounds the human body. And ironically, some people refer to this as the aura, and they think our body transmits the aura. It's the opposite. Our aura, or etheric field, is what creates the body and actually tunes us into our reality. So with the SRC for you, we can scan this etheric field and clear patterns of stress which may be lowering the vibration. The higher the vibration of the etheric field, the better the reality we tune into, because all voltage is available in the energy around us. We kind of dial it in like we dial in a TV show. So we can work on individuals if they have requested. The ideal situation with this software is you work on yourself and your family. But you can also work with situations. And so I'm going to put in here the situation of 4 people kidnapping and torturing a mentally challenged man. Now, the reason we can work with this situation is we're part of it. Energy like this can spread like a virus. This kind of savagery impacts us all. So that's the reason we can work with this, to hope to lift this energy. And we're not attempting to manipulate or control. That will give you, like I said before, energy blowback like you never saw. All people have free will. We're attempting to clear the stress of it, because people have been extremely stressed and preoccupied with this. Among other things, there are a number of things happening around the planet that we could choose to work on, but this is what I'm working with today. Now, we have an optimized connection button, and I want to point this out. I know that the members of the group are familiar with this, but I want to point out again that if there would be any reason we should not proceed with this, the machine will just shut down. There is a button right here, Client's Resistance to Help, and we have been given permission energetically to proceed with this. But if there would be any reason we did not have permission, this apparatus would just stop and we'd have to go another direction. Okay, so I just made a list of some factors here. And we're just going to scan this using this Find Options button. And the idea, we're scanning the etheric field of the situation. Remember, everything is energy. We're looking for numbers because it's a mathematical universe. And so the idea is everything with a number under 1,000 is a stress to the field at this time. Now, this is real time. Actually, in quantum, they say there is no time anyway. So we do see the stress of a negative entity in the physical body. Let's go on down and see what else. Prehistoric curses, that's interesting. Negative beliefs, thoughts, and memories. Here's this information on the word pad. So this very top one, and look at that extremely low number, which means very close in negative entities in the physical body. And again, we're looking at stress. So what I'm going to do for starters right now is I'm simply going to go into the Neigong, because the Neigong can invert patterns. I'm just going to put that in here, and we're going to run that for 24 hours. Now let's see what else. Okay, we see prehistoric curses. Now, my own belief system regarding curses is information at the moment of conception, and they say that at the moment of conception we download, remember we work as biological computers, we download everything from both sides of our ancestry, and this could be pretty overwhelming, but it looks like some prehistoric curses kicked in. Now, we have so many downloads that what happens is our environment kicks these things in. So you might have a situation where there's some substance abuse or some affiliation with people that you shouldn't affiliate with, and things like these curses could potentially be activated. So again, we're just going to go in here to the tool tabs, and we're going to put this in. Now that didn't copy. Let's just type it. And let's go on down the list. Negative beliefs, thoughts, and memories. And I believe that is the last one. Okay. So you can see that if you allow your thought process to control you and focus on things that you don't need to focus on, this can be the same influence as allowing an entity of some sort into your own field. So again, and for this one, let's just go into the Shin. The Neigong, well, the Neigong typically works more with physical. They are interchangeable. I think I want to go back and take that back. I want to stay with the Neigong on all of this. I'm going to see how this group resonates with an image related to clearing transgenerational trauma. Remember, as I said, we carry all this in our DNA. What activates it is environment. So this is an interesting image. We do see by images. And so let's see if this group resonates. This is the 4 individuals, the situation, not them personally, but the etheric field related to this situation. I like to ask 3 times. First one is 57. We're looking for a 70 or higher. $23. This may not be it. No, this is not it. This is not our focus. So let's go ahead and I'll check for another. Okay, how about brain health? And this has a bunch of codes. Remember, the information around us all is mathematical information. That's why your scientists are mathematicians. It's all numbers. So let's just look at brain health. Could it be that through years of deprivation of certain basic nutrition that our behavior could deteriorate to this point? 36. Again, I'm looking for a 70% or higher to give me an indication I'm on the right track. "67 is getting closer. Let's ask one last time. All right, 77. So we're going to go with this direction, but now we have one more thing to scan, and that is what opened the door to this. Let's just see what we can learn. And again, this is extremely subtle. It's etheric field. We're getting ideas, and then we are taking action. But let's see what comes up. All right. Gossip or slander. Okay, so lots of talk. And I mentioned that before. They say that is one of the absolute most destructive things that we can do to our own energy field. So, for starters, let's just go in and put gossip and or slander. And let's focus here. Let's go into the Shin. I like to leave either the Shin or Neigong open for the intuitive because this scans the whole field and get, okay, so increase all that stuff. So they're wanting, I don't know what they want an increase in, mercy, money, etc. Let's go in to the charger. And let's just go ahead and do an object. Why don't we do present environment and charge it with 528 hertz, which we're told is the frequency of transformation. And then go ahead, let's see what kind of time, and look up here the theme, small intestine disharmony. There may be on a subtle energy level some disturbance with absorption. There was a book many years ago, I think this could even have been the 70s, called Nora's Dynamite Nutrition. And this woman believed that everyone who committed crimes, it was because of nutritional deficiency. She had a milkshake that tasted rather vile. It was loaded with B vitamins. And she sold the book and took all the money and gave the proceeds to the prison system to try to get some nourishment into these prisoners. It was interesting. So anyway, let's see auto time, 1 hour for 7 sessions. Let's go ahead and get that started. And then let's take a look at the group with the same scans. Okay, so first let's just find the options. All right, so negative entities in home and property, so we're going to do some clearing for that. Psychic cords, we have a cutting cords cocktail too, and let me see what I can do to put that into words. We are all connected, as you already know, energetically, and there are times that we have actually cords to some negative memories or some people that have manipulated us, and they say those cords connect in the solar plexus. I'm no expert on this, but I do have a good cocktail to clear this. Self-destruction, judgment, punishment, hate, and sabotage. We can do without that. And negative input from heritage, culture, or religion. Let's just get a little bit more information. So we look at negative entities, home, and property. And we're going to talk tomorrow about Jing and what that is. 38. So doesn't look like it's we will. Let's go ahead and check 3 times, but and then we're going to do a clearing. lungs, which often, remember, the organ systems, this is first of all etheric work, but secondly, the organ systems also have a connection to the emotions, lung being depression and grief. Okay, so 79, so we've got a little bit of stress there, and we will start by going into the Negong. And then let's also go into the charger. Let's do homes. And let's just go ahead and start with that same thing, the 528 hertz. And do it 5 minutes. We are going to do a little more with this, though, in just a moment. Psychic chords. That's tied into women's issues. 85, that's a high one, so we have a very good image for that, which we'll do as soon as we check these other factors. Meanwhile, let's put it in the Negong, which is going to invert frequency patterns. And let's see if I can remember these all at once. It listed them, but I'd like to break them down. Self-destruction. Now, we possess all of these qualities, every one of us, in our fields. And like I said before, it's really our environment that flips the switch. And in reference to the theme, the second theme of this self-destruction energy is blood, which very often they say is the blood is symbolic of joy. Yeah, I'm not seeing a real high resonance with this one. We are going to go ahead and put it in the Negong. Then we have judgment, and that is one cardinal rule. We can discern, but as far as judging another person, they say that's quite lower vibratory energy for us. So we see spleen, which ties into immunity. 56. Eight. We're fairly balanced. These things are coming up, but not in real high numbers so far. Okay, so again, invert. And then we had punishment. Fractured soul ties in look at that 97. That's a high one. And fractured soul ties in to, in my opinion, this is the inability to choose. They say our soul is actually our gift that enables us to activate our free will and choose. So we see very high with this for the group. So let's go ahead and clear that. And the Chinese say that self-hate is the only real disease or problem there is. And of course, if we on some deeper level believe there's punishment coming, that certainly can't be beneficial. And we've got hate. And again, it's up there fairly significant. Let's go ahead and go into the tool tabs. So this gives us some ideas for starters. Let's go ahead now also and see some of the sources of this. Okay, we're actually very clear as a group. So what has happened perhaps is some entanglement. So that's interesting. And again, this is all such subtle work. But it would stand to reason, at least my opinion, that those who are interested enough in their own energy system to sign up for such a group certainly would not make any, they would not be consciously making any effort to subject themselves. Remember that this is working with the deep unconscious with many layers of programs which we don't even realize are going on. So let's go ahead. I have a couple of things I'd like to do here. We have an image for cutting cords, and that does seem to be a source of stress for us. And again, this is all etheric field, so don't worry when you see these things. This is not the type of thing in the physical body, but you see that we are asking for this. It does resonate. We do need to clear it. 5 minutes, 217 sessions. Okay, we're going to charge the homes, all of our homes today are apartments, with gold, which really can lift vibration and clear the lower vibratory energy. Let's do that for 24 hours. And then we're just going to keep it simple for the, we're just going to clear bad stuff for 24 hours. And that should about do it for today. Let's go ahead and get the Neigong started. Let's see what we're asking for in the Shin. Harmonize environment, change negative attitude, change helpless and weak. And for the charger, and let's again do the homes. I believe I have a Solfeggio charge. Yeah, no, not right. Okay, well, I'll start. I'll find that. Right now, we're just going to do some solar plexus affirmations in reference to the cutting cords. And that's it. This has been a little bit of a long session. I apologize for that, but it could be a significant session.